Hello, welcome to a slightly unusual Cracking the Cryptic. This puzzle's been put together by Jane Street, and we thank them very much for doing that and for sponsoring this video. Now, if you don't know, Jane Street is a quantitative trading firm with offices in New York, London, Hong Kong, Amsterdam and Singapore. Simon had to take a tour of those places in the last puzzle by Jane Street we solved. They use techniques from machine learning, distributed systems, programmable hardware and statistics to trade on markets around the world. Now, you might be wondering, why is a place like Jane Street interested in creating a fun puzzle for us to solve on this channel? Well, it's because the people who work there are obsessed with solving complex problems and puzzles every day, and they really value puzzle solving. If you want to try more puzzles like these, you can check out their puzzle page at the link in the description. There are hundreds of maths puzzles, logic puzzles, and so on for you to test your skills. So it's really an interesting resource to go to. And while you're there, if it's appropriate to you, check out all the open roles, because Jane Street is currently hiring for a number of them. And even though they're a financial firm, they don't expect you to have a background in finance or any other specific field. They're just looking for smart people who enjoy solving interesting problems. And if that isn't an exact description of the people watching this video, I don't know what is. But thanks to Jane Street for the fact that the video won't be interrupted by other ads for once. We will look at what we've got. Now, I don't know what we're getting here. I've called up the page and not read anything on it yet. And that may mean, especially as we're obviously not looking at Sudoku here, that I'm going to have to edit the video to call up, to create a file or something to store information in. I don't know. We'll see as we go. But there is a link to this puzzle itself, as well as Jane Street's puzzle page below the video. So you can check it out and have a go at it yourself first, and then, or alternatively just now, watch me try and solve whatever we've got here. And what we seem to have, I don't know, it's a bunch of lockers or something, or maybe just stickers. Okay, so there's some instructions underneath. The 3 best plays from our recurring Codenames game night are pictured above. I don't know if I need to click on the Codenames to see what it is. One matched 11 words and the other 2 matched 9 each. We looked at the boards over and over again and decided that when the clues encode the target words in such a binary fashion, you can get impressive results. I'd better look at what Codenames is. Oh. Well, it seems to be a completely separate game. Okay, we probably don't need to know what that is. I don't know what that is. Anyway, what have we got here? And can you see it? Yes, you can. Oh, you can't see quite my whole screen. That's interesting. So I'd better try and make sure I'm not at the top of my screen. Right. Look at all these words on the top 25 things. And for some reason, I'm not sure I understand why. Maybe I do need to research code names. I don't want to. I'm going to try and do this without doing that. So this top section is one of the 9s. Now, what did it say? There were 9 matches achieved. One matched 11 words. The 3 best first plays. So this one says clothing, 9. So I suppose a polo is an item of clothing, and a dress and a tuxedo, shoe, shorts, cap. We're up to 6 already. Glove, suit. And boot. Is that it? Have I missed any? Probably. Polo, dress. Did I repeat any twice? Polo, dress, tuxedo. That's 3. Shoe, shorts. Right. Well, there was that word binary. There was that word binary in the Flavourtext. That's what we call it. Not a preamble. Okay, so the matches, if we turned a match into a 1 and a non-match into a 0, In the top row, now I'm conscious these are 5 by 5s, which I think is interesting in its own right, but let's just go row by row. It's the more simple thing. If we created the matches as 1 and the non-matches, England and Skyscraper in this row, as 0, we would get 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Now that is a binary number, and we add a 1s column and a 2s column, nothing in the 4s and the 8s column, and 1 in the 16 column. We get 19. And if I translate 19 alphanumerically, i.e. what is the 19th letter, I get S, which is a very plausible start. So let's see if this is going to work. Then in the second row, we only have shoe and shorts. That's 2 and 1 is 3, that's C, SC. Now this might work, but I thought there was a row with no matches in it, and that is not good news. Anyway, let's just carry on. Boot and cap. So that's worth 16, and 2 is 18. That would be R. SCR is a very plausible beginning for a word. But then we come up with this row with nothing in it. Oh no, it does. It has glove. Ah, okay, good. So that's an A for 1. SCRA. I mean, we're away. This looks like it's working. Then in the final row, just the suit. So that's a 2, and that's B. Ah, are we working on Scrabble? We've got Scrab. I mean, it's plausible. Okay, I'm going down. Let me just check you can still see. Right. Let's try. Now, we're matching animals in the next set. Space, mill, circle, duck, powder. That's exactly what I wanted. Duck is the only animal for 2 points, and not 2 points, for the number 2 in binary, and another B. Then in the next one, we have scorpion and octopus, which are worth 8 and 4. Is 12 L? Yes, it is. I know that J is 10, so I can work out that L is 12. And surely we're going to get E in the next row, which would be a 4 and a 1. And there they are, cuckoo and penguin. I have definitely spelt Scrabble, and there is no possibility that I'm doing the wrong thing at this point. Well, I might not be doing the only right thing, but I'm doing a right thing. So we'll carry on. I think we're going to get 7 more letters. In this row we have rabbit, shark and dog, and they're worth 1, 2 and 16. That is an S for 19 again. Scrabbles or Scrabble S. Then we have turtle, reindeer and eagle in the next row. So that is worth 16, 4 and 1 is 21, which is a U. Now we're on to food again. Wasn't it food? No, it was no, it's not food again. It's food for the first time. Right, and we're looking at soup, cheese and potato. 1, 2, 4, 8, 13. Scrabble sum, we've got 2 with an M there. Pie, salad, carrot and pizza. 8, 4, 2 and 1 is worth 15. That is a O. Scrabble sumo. Well, that would be an interesting combination of competitions. Army, paddle, hamburger, and that's the only one, hamburger. So that is worth 4. Have I missed anything? That seems to be a D. Scrabble, sumo, D. Cycle Bride, biscuit, Pacific and Lab. Biscuit's the only scorer for another D. Ah, this is going to be an S at the end then, is it? Food. There's no food there. Right. Well, it's not an S then. We've got Scrabble, sum, odd. Those are that is the message. I should probably just really write that somewhere that you can see it, shouldn't I? Would you like that? I don't know. Let's write it. Scrabble, sum, odd. You can't see this yet, but hopefully if I add a feed to my OBS. Okay, tiny bit of editing later, and there is Scrabble Sum Odd, which is the first message achieved here. Now, what do we do with that? So one of the things I thought about doing was to read down in fives as well, but I would be very surprised if that was helpful. Right, no, maybe... There's, I mean, okay, Scrabble Sum looks to me like it means you add up the letters of something. And, sorry, when I say add up the letters, you add up the Scrabble scores of the letters. So we need to know the Scrabble scores for this, which is something I have almost memorized, but let's do another edit while I just find the Scrabble scores of letters. I mean, I think that all the common letters are worth 1, and there are very few worth 2. I think there are only 2 letters worth 2 from memory. They may be something like D and G. Then there are a few worth 3, like C and M. And then there are a bunch worth 4. K is worth 5, J and X 8, Q and Z 10. But let's actually get the list so that we can see that. Okay, and as if by magic, there we are. Scrabble Sum Odd. Oh, hang on, have I cut any of the 1 point letters off? No, I haven't. There we go. Okay, so it was D and G, B, C, M and P for 3. 5 of them have 4 point values. Okay, now I could sum every word that we're given, like polo and so on. I haven't really addressed quite what we're looking at. I suppose these are little cards from a game. That must be how Codenames is played. And something in the game will explain why they're written both ways up, and we have these white backgrounds and so on. I don't know. Anyway, to actually sum up all of these Scrabble Sum Odd, we might get another message if we take all the odds as ones. I mean, this could be a little bit laborious. So polo is 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 6, not odd. England is, I mean, I think you don't want to watch me adding up those numbers. So I think the next job for me to do is, you know, okay, let's just do England. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. So that's 9, and that is an odd number. Yeah, I will make a table of these on my own time, and I'll show it to you in a moment. Okay, so here's my spreadsheet that I've been creating of the numbers of the Scrabble scores of the individual words that appear. And I thought I'd do the first block first just to see if this was going in the right direction, because there's every chance I've missed the idea. However, it's worked quite well. So, for instance, as I think I said, polo was worth 6 and England was worth 9. Then I worked out skyscraper is adding up to 21, dress 6 and tuxedo 14. It is, of course, possible for me to make errors as I go. But then I convert that into zeros and ones based on odd being worth a 1 because of that message Scrabble Sum Odd. And that gives me a total of 12 for the first row, 15 for the second, 14 for the third, 7 for the fourth, and 4 for the second. And that does look like it's spelling out something because we get long D. So I am going to continue this process. Now, as I've been going along and converting these numbers, something that's always worth doing is thinking about how would the puzzle maker have been achieving this, and is it plausible? So there was a possibility that I was meant to be summing something else in terms of Scrabble, or rather than these individual words, maybe I was meant to sum the letters of Scrabble, sum, odd together or something. And that's not impossible, and there could be other things to do with it, but it did occur to me that we might be using these same rows for not just this second message, because there's quite a wide variety. If you just came up with 9 different clothing items, you could work out that half of them would have odd Scrabble sums and half of them wouldn't. But maybe we can use the letters for something else. Again, I think we might be going to come up with up to 3 or 4 messages from this same set of numbers, from the same set of words. Anyway, we shall see. So I'll be back momentarily for you, but it'll take me quite a few minutes to do the other blocks of 5 and see what this full message is. So bear with me again. Okay, so here we are. Just interrupting myself before I make the corrections that I probably need to make here. This is what I came up with. And I thought while I was doing that, maybe I'd just speed it up so that you don't have to sit through the process of me doing it, but you don't miss the process of me doing it entirely. Anyway, I don't know if I did that. You will be able to tell. So the message I got was long doctor then 5. That's not right. It doesn't feel right. Longer than 5 feels more plausible. So I have to go back to this word. Now I've written a 3 as a 0. 3 should give a 1, and that should give a 5, and that should give an E. So that is a very simple fix. Now this one, 7 does give a 1, so I must have miscalculated the 7. That's the word, I don't know if you can see that on screen. That's the word, oh, bother. That wasn't what I wanted to do. There we go. Glasses. And I must have miscounted glasses. My method, by the way, for doing this as quickly as I could was to find the unusual letters in words, score them, and then add the other points on for the other number of letters. Well, I've got it wrong with glasses. I think I must have assumed that G was a usual letter worth 1. And the answer is that G is worth 2, and there are 6 other letters that are worth 1. That's an 8. That should be a 0, and that does give a 1 answer and an A there, which is exactly what I'm expecting. And now we get longer than 5. And we're going to go through the list again. I can probably do this one more in my head, thank goodness. We can go through the list again, counting a 1 for the words that are longer than 5 and seeing how that scores in the puzzle. Oh, sorry, I haven't got it high enough on the screen for you. There we go. So, England and skyscraper are, so that's 1100, which is 12 for an L. So we're getting we've had Scrabble sum odd, then we've had longer than 5, now we start with an L. Then we've got only the second word, compound, that's going to give us an 8. Oh, that's rather surprising. That's not a vowel, that's H. So I've done something wrong there, presumably. Longer than 5. I mean, I'm sure we can just apply this. This would be very surprising if this now doesn't apply again to the list. So Yes, shorts is longer than 5, isn't it? It's 6. So was tuxedo. So I had, for some reason, I was thinking of longer than 6, despite saying longer than 5. Right, my sincere apologies. So we start with an M for 13. Then we have an I for 2. That's better. So we've started with MI. Then longer than 5, so it's just school, mid. Just telescope, another D, MIDD. I bet we get an L. Yes, we do, with 1100. So middle. This is going to be an E, which is circle and powder being longer than 5. That's good. Then it's 1100 again. So middle L. I'm gradually learning what these letters are from binary. Then we have an E from cuckoo and penguin. That adds up to 5, a 4 and a 1. Then we have 10100, which is 20, which is a T. I bet we have that again. We do. Turtle and reindeer. So we're up to middle let. I think we're going to get an E next. Cheese and potato, that seems right. Then we're going to get an R from magazine and carrot, which add up to, yes, they add up to 18. That's good. Middle letter. Are we going to get an S now? We've got paddle, hamburger, Himalayas, and country. That's an O. Middle letter O. Then we are going to get biscuit and Pacific, which is 6. That's F. And then none again in the final row. Middle letter of. That's rather surprising. Middle letter of. That just doesn't feel like, I mean, I'm going to look at the middle letters of things in a moment. First of all, I am just going to write our 3 messages that we've reached now. Scrabble, sum, odd. Longer than 5. Middle letter of. Right. Not every word has a middle letter. That's my problem next. Middle letter of what? It looks like that's an incomplete message. Well, I suppose now we could do the downs. No, they're very unlikely to also contribute, because it would be very hard to arrange the pack of words in that way. Middle letter of. Well, let's just literally take the middle letters when there are middle letters, which means we are starting with, which means we're only looking at odd length words like England and dress. So that would give us LE. Then we'd have an E in agent. I don't think this is going to be the right thing. The next 4 are odd. Then we get an A from plane and an X from Texas. And we've got Lee, axe, and then S from telescope. Lee, axe, so this is not right. Then a U from sun, A from space. So I've misinterpreted this message. Scrabble, some odd, longer than 5, middle, I mean, that was working fine. You know, middle letter of is clearly deliberate. But I am misinterpreting how we're meant to use it. I mean, we could take the double middle letter of the evens, OL from polo. Middle letter of. Gosh, okay, I need to think about this one. Middle letter of. Of what? And this last row has supplied absolutely nothing in any message. Ash, kid, queen, novel, jet. Ah, but their middle letters give sieve. That's very surprising. The middle letters of the row above give Sissia. But sieve. The answer to the puzzle is a single word. Am I really meant to take the middle letters of those last 5? Like, is that their role, is to suddenly come in now? Middle letters of the last row. That would be, it would be a little odd. I mean, it's possible, and they do spell a word. But basically, the 15 rows have given longer than 5 blank, or rather, they've given Scrabble sum odd blank, longer than 5 blank, middle letter of, and then you naturally assume blank, but then you could use those letters to give sieve. Now, just to illustrate how it's not astonishing that all 5 are odd lengths and therefore have middle letters, the very row above has exactly the same. I'm going to try sieve as the answer, and we shall see if it's right. Where do I get to? Oh, it's just show solution. Oh, it's too late to enter the puzzle. Oh, that's annoying. I don't want to click on show solution until I'm confident I've got it. But I might have it. If there was a sort of place to enter the answer and find out if you were right, I think I would enter sieve. Actually, I'm now asking myself, is sieve a normal word in American English, which would matter, or is that more used in British English? No, I think sieve is fine. It's a bit strange. I do think sieve is the answer. I'm just going to ask myself one more question, which is, could these words have been selected with enough care to give those 3 messages, but also enough care to give more messages? I mean, there could be 4 or 5. No, I think I'm saying the answer is sieve, and I'm going to click on show solution and find out. And if I'm wrong, well, there we go. Now, we were presented with 3 code names boards with exceptionally high scoring players. Well, you'd need to know the game to know that. A natural first step is to find the correct cards grouped by each clue. Yeah. So Scrabble sum odd. Here it is. Oh, I don't. Yeah, you can see this. Can you? Yes, you can see most of the text here. Actually, maybe I should just get rid of the. There we go. Oh no, nearly. There we go. Now you can see even more text, but my face is in the way a bit. Right, Scrabble sum odd. Reading these rows down the puzzle gives longer than 5. Then we read off middle letter of. Now we don't have an obvious condition, but the final row failing to match any of the previous clues is starting to stick out. All of the words in the final row are odd in length and thus have a well-defined middle letter. So does the row above, actually, Jane Street, which read from left to right, sieve, the somewhat appropriate answer to the puzzle. I suppose it is appropriate. We have sieved it out. And there we go. So we did get to the solution with a tiny bit of uncertainty about whether we had. Many correct submissions. Look at all those to that puzzle. Well done to those people who did it while that was live. It wasn't but for me, but I am delighted to get there. And that is how you solve game night. And I dare say Jane Street are recommending the game code names. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed that slightly unusual video for us. Absolute pleasure to bring it to you. It's a super puzzle. It's a really interesting idea to have these cards give 3 different messages. I once did a listener puzzle a bit like that myself called Backslash. Yeah. Anyway, it's a lovely idea and great fun. Thank you for watching. See you again on Cracking the Cryptic next time. Bye for now.